Yeah.
Hey everyone, hey everyone, and welcome back to another episode of Spill the Tea with Damen B and Gigi.
Hi, everyone.
So I actually got Lasik eye
I
surgery
was
done
just gonna
last Friday.
say, did anybody notice? We didn't even
Yeah,
mention it last podcast because we were so enamored with my hair. Well, I
right,
was. We didn't even
right.
discuss your look, which
I
is
keep
no glasses.
no glass. I keep reaching to go like push them up
Yeah.
on the bridge of my
Yeah.
nose, and like, yeah.
Wow.
Well,
How do you like
I
that? Let's
I
talk
love
about
it.
that surgery just for a minute.
Okay.
People
Yeah.
might be interested in what that is and how that
Yeah.
happens.
Well, I think Michael Scott said it, hot people don't wear glasses. And I just needed to get rid of those.
Actually, I look better in glasses, I feel like,
Right.
than not.
The
Yeah.
I actually didn't think I looked too bad in glasses because they shaped my face well.
Mhm.
However, I decided to get LASIK surgery because every time I go to the gym, I'm a heavy sweater. So it the sweat always gets on my
Ugh,
glasses. I
yeah.
love to go swimming. I can't see. When it's raining out, my glasses always fog up, especially in the wintertime too.
Mhm.
When I'm in the gym change room, I can never see guys' penises because they're always blurry with my glasses off.
Oh, you can't have that.
Honestly, the struggle was real.
Well, I only wear mine for reading or close to the computer. I
Mhm.
don't use them for look like far off, like far away
Yeah,
that you got that surgery for.
yeah.
So I can imagine when you rely on them all the time that it can get very, very annoying.
Yes. So I originally had my consultation back in 2019, and this
Mhm.
was when I was in university, so I couldn't afford anything. And they said it would range between $3,000 and $5,000 for to have both my eyes done.
Right.
And so I said, you know what? I've saved up enough. That was my goal, was to save up to $5,000. So just in case it did come to 5,000, I could afford it.
Right.
So I saved up enough. I was like, fuck it. I'm getting the consultation again. Did the consultation. My prescription was the same for about a year and a half to 2 years. They said my prescription was perfect to get it. Now,
Mhm.
my cornea was on the thinner side, so they were a little worried. However, they do an extensive, comprehensive exam when you go in there. You look um at so many different machines with so many different people, like they
Right.
make sure. I seen two different, I think they were optometrists at the actual LASIK place before I even seen my surgeon. So
Right.
it's their
So
job to
they're
make
they're
sure,
doing right.
yeah, to
They're
you
looking
know
at it and making sure that you're
yeah,
eligible and everything's healthy and you can have it done.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So I actually did get it done. They gave me a sedative, a little Xanax before I
Oh,
went
nice.
in. Totally fine, just pressure. You just feel pressure on your eyes when it's happening because
Mhm.
what they do is they put on a clamp to make sure you can't blink,
Right.
right?
Yeah.
And then they start applying pressure because they go to cut into your eye actually to make a flap. So you
Mhm.
actually lose your vision for, I'm going to say, about a minute, and then next thing you know, the laser goes in for 10 seconds, goes boop, 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 boop. And then they go, okay, next eye. It took 7 minutes in total. This is amazing technology we have nowadays.
Wow.
7
Yeah.
minutes in total. And yeah, recovery, just use the eye drops. There's
Mhm.
three different
Yeah.
ones they give you, and you wear sunglasses for the weekend.
Great.
Yeah.
Well, you look fantastic. Now we can see the color of your eyes,
Which
which was
are,
also a okay,
they're
they're
like
kinda grayish, bluish green.
light blue, green. Okay, that's what the lady said at the thing. She goes, "Well, I'm seeing green, I'm seeing blue, and I'm seeing gray." I'm like, "Holy fuck, pick a color."
Yeah, they're
Uh,
they're really very much they're kinda gray, and when you're sitting on your couch there,
yeah,
kind of, brings out your eyes, but you know what else you need to do? Oh, we're staring right at each other for anybody who's listening.
yeah.
Is you need to start using a little bit of, mascara
For
for those gorgeous eyelashes. Oh my
right.
goodness.
Well, they've been
Ladies.
like.
Why is
I
that even fair? That's
so
ridiculous.
a lot of them actually came out because they also tape your eyelashes, and I noticed a lot of them came out when they taped my
Oh,
eyelashes too.
no.
Yeah, and I was
Oh,
kind of upset. So
no.
they're
That's
looking
upsetting.
they're on the thinner side right now,
Yeah.
um, but also they were just stuck
Well,
to
they're
my
hardly
bottom.
thin. I mean,
Yeah.
honestly.
Well, whenever I put the eye drops in, right, they just stick to my skin. My eyes get all
I literally
watery.
think in this eye, I was exposed. I like maybe on our last podcast, we talked about parties, and
Yeah.
I might have been a little too close to a fire or something. And I literally have no lower lashes except for like three on
Mm.
on this eye, and then maybe six on this one. So
Ah,
yeah.
I love that for you.
Oh my god.
Um, but yeah, so I can see the world like right now. It is
That's
currently
awesome. So are you completely recovered? So we had this last
Mhm.
Friday and now we are Tuesday.
Tuesday. I wouldn't say I'm completely recovered. I do see halos around lights, which they
Okay.
said it should get better. Like still during nighttime driving or something,
Okay.
I'll still see halos, but they said in a couple to few weeks it should get better.
Mhm.
And I'm finding, well, I obviously have really dry eyes, so
Mm,
constantly putting in eye drops, and then also if I'm focusing on something, like I can see it. However, I do think, I don't know, I started to get overwhelmed today at the gym almost
mm,
because they have the lights in the ceiling. They're like the pot lights or whatever.
mhm,
And there was
mhm.
too many of them. And I actually started to feel overwhelmed. So it was a lot. If you're in a like
Yeah.
a darker corner and there's a lot of lights, it's a lot
Mhm.
for your eyes. So I'm not 100%, but I can see. I
Right.
can see, yeah.
Yeah, so you can work and everything. And how
Yeah.
much was your total bill then for that?
So the total bill, there was a promo on, so I got $400 off. Plus, I
Nice.
flipped my insurance card, even though my insurance didn't cover any. They had a promotion on with the insurance carrier that I was with, so I got $550 off,
Mhm.
and it came to $3,300 for both my eyes.
Well, that's not bad.
That
It's
was
too bad
yeah,
it's too
cheap.
bad it's not covered under OHIP.
Okay.
But I'm assuming that, the optometrists that sell glasses would have an issue with that. So,
Well,
I
I can claim it on my taxes.
oh, good.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah,
So
that's true. So if you can save up enough to get it, and then you can put that receipt in with your taxes, you'll probably get some of that back, if
yeah.
not all of it. Yeah.
So
Wow. That's
that
great.
it was really good, and a lot of my coworkers have actually done it, and they said it was worth it.
Yeah.
The one said her eyes did regress, but that was 10 years after,
Right.
and just a little bit, so now she just has reading glasses.
Hmm.
Um, but my surgeon said he was confident with my prescription. He goes, "There's less than a 5% chance of your eyes regressing before the age of 40."
Perfect. Yeah, and reading glasses
Hallelujah.
and reading, that's it's totally separate thing
Yeah,
than your vision loss
exactly.
previously. As you get older and as you age, a lot of people require
Yeah,
something to read a book or be close to a computer or whatever, as I do. I don't wear glasses all day.
yeah.
I just wear them, yeah, for reading.
Okay. Well, we talked about me for 8 minutes, so that was nice.
Right. Do we want to talk about me? No? No.
Well, I think we were gonna talk about government.
Oh.
I think that was the
Oh, that's
topic.
boring.
We talked
I was
enough
just gonna
about you
I was
last
going to say about when you said it was overwhelming, when I I actually have this I got this post drilled into my head for hearing. And when I went to the doctors, um, to the hearing specialist to see whether I would be eligible because of the hearing loss that I have, they so I went, I saw them, I sat in the waiting room and he called me and I had a hearing test, and then they came out with this belt thing that had a simulated um thing against my skull that I would see what it was like to
Oh,
have the actual, hearing device with the post. So it was just you put it on your head, and then they said, "Go back out in the waiting room, and the doctor will see you, in 20 minutes and see if it makes a difference, see what it and at that time, I walked out, and when I had walked in, every waiting room, they have, like, a TV
Yeah.
in the corner. Well, when I walked in, they had a TV, and I think they had a news channel on, whatever it was, and I thought to myself, "This is so annoying when you see these news stations on, and you can't hear anything." Like, I'd love to like, why do they turn them right down? I don't understand that. Well, then they put that thing on me, and I went and sat out there. There was volume. I just I just couldn't hear it when I got there. But then I was thinking, "Why do they have it so low when you're in a hearing loss? Why don't they turn that up?"
I was just
Anyway.
gonna say, maybe that's how they sell devices. They turn it off when people come in, and then when they send you out, they, like, crank it, and they're like, "See? See what it can do for you?"
Well, and actually, I was sitting there, and I could hear, like, tables squeaking and all this stuff, and I felt that same like, I was kind of
Yeah.
overwhelmed with it, but I was thinking, "Oh my god, this is so wonderful." So I've had that device now for probably a year and a half, and I barely wear it because I've also found I don't want I don't wanna hear anything, and I don't wanna hear anyone. So just I can't be bothered. Yeah, that's my story. I don't wanna hear it.
Damn.
Yeah.
Maybe we should just talk about our surgeries this
Oh god,
podcast.
you don't wanna talk about that. Holy jumping.
How many surgeries have you had?
Well,
Well, let's
well,
start with me because I have
yes,
mine off
let's
the
start
top
with
of my
you.
head.
Yeah.
So my very first surgery happened when I was an orphan child living in Belgium.
What?
My parents had web feet, and that's from Austin Powers. Um, okay, my first surgery, I think it was when I had 13 teeth removed.
Oh,
So
yes.
I was in grade 11 and I still had 9 baby teeth. Maybe I was going into grade 11. I had
Mm.
9 baby teeth still left in my mouth. They weren't wiggly, they weren't budging. Um so they extracted the 9 baby teeth as well as my 4 wisdom at the same time.
Ugh.
Now, I was unable to eat for like a month and a half solid food. I had to blend it. It was a horrible experience. I had an infection in my gums. It
Oh.
was probably the worst pain I've ever
Yeah, I bet.
experienced in my life. Yeah.
Hmm.
I remember waking up crying some like in the night because of the pain, and my eyes would be glued shut because like that Sandman stuff you get in your
Mm.
eye when it
Mhm.
gets wet,
Mhm.
it gets a little tacky.
No, no.
Anyways, that was some of the worst pain ever. So I had 13 teeth ripped out of me. I was
Oh.
I was put under for that.
Mhm.
Which was hilarious when I woke up because my aunt was there, and I just remember the doctors or the dentists, I'm not gonna call them doctors, the dentists, were stuffing cotton balls in my mouth, and they go, "No, no, keep them in, it's to stop the bleeding," and I'm just going "Ugh," with my tongue till I get them out.
Shitting
Uh,
them out.
yeah, just spitting them out, and they're trying to keep them in, they're like, "Damon, Damon, we're gonna keep the cotton balls in," and all I see is my aunt in the corner, right? I'm waking up all groggy, there's, like, 6 people in the room,
Right.
and she goes, "Grandpa texted and said he's proud of you," and something. I was like, "Tell Grandpa to go fuck himself." I just had no filter when you're on like, coming out of it, right?
Yeah, and you're actually quite cranky
Oh,
too.
yeah, I
Yeah.
was cranky.
Yeah, I think we talked about this before with, illnesses on our episode, but,
Mm.
when you come out of anesthetic, you kind of A, you have no filter, and B, you're kind of well, I don't know if everybody is, but I experience a similar thing, is being very cranky, like, weirdly not myself cranky.
Well,
Yeah.
I don't remember a lot what happened, but I do remember if someone videotaped it, it would almost look like a kidnapping scene because it was so fast. And by the time like I woke up, they were getting me out of the chair, and there was like a taxi van because my aunt couldn't drive. We didn't have a car, so she ordered a taxi for us. at the side of the building. So they got me through the emergency exit door into this taxi. It probably looked like a kidnapping because that's what it felt like. I had all these people like
Shoving you.
shoving me into this taxi. That's the way to do it. Like put
Yeah.
someone under. If you ever want answers, like honest answers to questions, put
I
someone
agree,
under.
and I have to wonder, is like that sodium, they call it sodium pentothal. I have to wonder, is that like a form of anesthetic? Because I'm pretty sure, yeah, you would get like absolute honesty out of someone, because that happened when I had this ear surgery, and it was, I just, same thing, waking up and it's just an explosion, number one, of pain, and they had put holes in my eustachian tube, so my equilibrium
Oh,
was gone. And so when I woke up and when I opened my eyes were doing this, like
yeah.
back and forth, because it felt like I was on like a
Spinning.
merry-go-round, like really
Yeah.
fast merry-go-round. And so I had to keep my eyes closed. And like I said in our other podcast, this kid was crying. And,
Oh,
like,
yes.
because I
Yeah.
was ear, nose, and throat, and so these little children are there having their tonsils out. Meanwhile, I'm there and I don't know what they butchered me, and,
Mm.
this kid is crying and crying and crying, but probably coming out of anesthetic too, so it was kind of an annoying, "Eh-heh, eh-heh." I remember it all these years later, and I finally went, "Would you shut the fuck up? Nobody wants to hear you." And Lord knows that's what I thought I was saying, but I may not have been saying anything at all. I might have been just saying,
Right? I had all the
yeah,
cotton balls in my
yeah,
mouth, so I'm saying, "Grandpa, go fuck yourself." Who knows if anyone heard me?
exactly. So, and then when I had this post, oh, this is funny. When I had this post put in, so if anybody knows this medically, when you have the worst lacerations, or the worst place that you bleed from, is your scalp. So if you ever get a large cut on your scalp, you can actually bleed to death from that. Like other places it bleeds, but your scalp has actually got a ton of tiny blood vessels.
Really?
That's why when they
Mm.
scalped a person, they would die, because they would bleed to death. So they would take, this part off, and you wouldn't think that would kill someone, but because there's so many blood vessels, sorry to say that, but that is why you would die from it.
Well, I'm just
You
thinking, I had a
just
pimple
simply bleed to
here.
death.
I had a pimple here the other day on the back of my head,
Mhm.
and after, blood started coming out. Hmm. I'm
Yeah,
okay.
you will
I'm
bleed
just
a lot from your scalp, and if you ever do have a really large cut, put like pressure on it is the most important thing. Anyway, so they put the little, I can't show you it, but they put the little posts, and you may have seen men have it quite often. They don't have any hair, and you'll see like a hearing aid sticking out of their head or
Mhm.
thing. That's usually a hearing aid. So I have one right here just above my ear, and when they put it in, and first of all, they only do it with local anesthetic, so I'm not put out for this, okay? And
Oh,
yeah, I don't, if I had the choice to do it again, I don't know that I would do it again. And I didn't feel anything, because once you get below the scalp, your skull has no feeling. Like you don't have any, yeah, which is weird. You think you
really?
would, but you don't. So
Hmm.
it's just a matter of locally
Yeah.
anesthetizing that, which he did really well. I think I had that for like 4 days after. So anyway, and then he cut into, like, he does a punch, so a hole, and
Yeah.
then he takes, I'm not kidding you, a drill that you would see on the street,
Oh, stop. Oh, my stomach. Oh. He
and
went to Home Depot real quick, got a
that's
power drill.
exactly
I'm sorry.
right.
I'm back.
I looked at it, I'm like, "Really? We're using that?" And then I guess what he has on it is something that makes it stop at a certain, depth, because you can imagine
Oh.
if he went right through or something, but it got stuck. and it broke
And you?
in my scalp.
Oh my god.
So in the meantime, I could feel they're running water over it the whole time. So he can, because I guess it's
To
copiously
see, yeah,
bleeding, right? So he
yeah.
can't see. And then he gets it stuck. So then he has to go get another bit, a drill bit.
Gotta go
And
to Home Depot real quick. Be right back.
he said that, he goes, "Oh, don't worry, it's stuck, but we're getting another one in here." So I don't know what they did. Like they did have a thing over me so I couldn't see everything. So anyway, they must have brought another drill in or whatever. And but he was really going at it and like trying to pull it out and everything. And I guess
Oh
finally
god.
it came loose. And I'm just thinking, is this the right thing to be doing? So he gets it out and he gets the hole drilled, and then it's all this is like a metal screw type thing. And your hearing aid clicks to it, and the hearing aid, it actually vibrates onto that metal post and vibrates your skull. And that makes you hear
I hope I never
noises.
lose my hearing because I don't think I can go through that.
Wow. So when he's all done, he finishes it up, and then they put a little thing on it that I had to go back in a week so that it would heal up around it and everything. And anyway, my husband, it was in the morning, and my husband said, "Okay, well, when we're done, we're in Halifax. Let's go to a nice like a restaurant that we don't have around. You're in the city. Let's go to a great restaurant." Now, because I had local, I feel fine and it didn't affect anything. So I'm like, yeah, okay, I'm feel all right. And it was so frozen that I couldn't feel anything. We go to the restaurant, and I guess like we sit in this restaurant with a window close to us at the table, and my husband looks up at me just at 1 minute, and he goes, "Oh my god." And I'm like, "What?" And he goes, "Your hair is pure red from the blood and the
Oh.
water." And it had like, by the
Oh,
time
it's
I had like got there, it
yeah,
kind of had dried
to
in
your
my
hair.
hair. And but it was so much because they had ran the water like so it, and my hair, everything was piled underneath, and all of it ran into my hair. Yeah, and he goes, It looks like somebody like came up and hit you in the back of the head with an axe."
You're like, "Pretty much." It was actually a drill.
Sort of was. Yeah,
Yeah.
it wasn't an axe, it was a drill. So I'm sitting there in this nice restaurant with my bloody hair. Oh my god. Bring it on, I'm just ate.
At least
I'm
it
gonna
wasn't
go
a
home.
white party. Like,
Oh,
can
yeah,
you imagine?
exactly. And the worst part was I couldn't wash it for a week. Like, I couldn't,
Oh,
but so I had to, I got finally got him because I went, "This is like, it's gonna smell
yeah,
eventually, like, it's gonna start to smell." So I got him to like, it was able to get him to wash it, like, out under the
yeah.
sink. Yeah, but anyway,
Oh my god.
yeah.
See, I don't, especially when they tell you, "Don't worry," during a surgery.
Yeah,
Now,
yeah, that
so
was weird.
when I got laser surgery, he didn't say, "Don't worry." He said, he warned me before. He goes, "Don't try to fight the clamps or whatever. Don't try to
Right.
squint." Well, the
Mhm.
first thing I did was try to squint as soon as he
Yeah,
told me.
yeah,
And
yeah,
then,
exactly.
oh, he was like, "Oh, we're not gonna do that because you're gonna make my life a lot harder." And I was like,
Oh,
"Your
and then
life?"
you're, yeah, no, then you're doing it the whole time, right? You're just like,
Yeah. I'm like, "What did he say not to do?" Yeah,
yeah, you're
cool.
just gonna keep doing it.
Yeah. So I also had surgery on my hand. I had a ganglion cyst
Oh, yeah.
removal.
Yes, I remember that.
This was fucking pain. He didn't add enough like anesthetic or whatever to my hand because he froze it, right? They
Mhm.
were just freezing. I wasn't put
So just
under.
so people know, a
Mhm.
ganglion cyst is actually an abscess of the bone. So it's actually, or in the bone joint.
Yeah,
So
and it's a
it
sack of
it
fluid.
rises, yeah, it rises
Yeah.
out, and the covering of it is so hard and so difficult that to remove it completely, they have to do a small surgery
Yeah.
to get it all out. If they
Now, if
just drained it, it would just keep coming back, right?
so, I did get it drained the first time, but then there's a percentage chance it would come back
Right.
and refill.
Mhm.
So once it refilled, oh, he said, "Okay, let's try surgery." Um, so he went in and he didn't put enough in. He said, like, let me know if you can feel it. I go, oh, I feel that. Oh, that really hurts. Cause he got to the
Ooh,
bottom and he's snipping away, right? And he goes, oh,
yeah.
I can get it. It's almost a full sack. And so when I said, oh, I feel that, that really hurts. And he goes, oh, I almost got it. Not,
Yeah.
let's
Yeah.
stop and add more freezing to
Yeah.
it. Oh, I almost got it. Oh my god, it hurts so bad. And then he butchered. So it's been a year since the surgery. He
Oh,
butchered like
wow. Yeah,
this.
you've got a big scar.
I do have a
Wow.
big scar. It had
Yeah.
it didn't heal nicely. I added creams and
Wow.
stuff to it. The guy who undid, so I was supposed to go back to him or whatever, get my stitches removed, but it was like an hour and a half um, ride to this hospital where I got it done. And I said, fuck that. I'm not going back. He was the worst guy ever to perform this
Yeah.
surgery. I just
Mhm.
said, fuck him. I left a nasty review too on Google. um, and then the guy who took it out, he was like, oh, wow, he did a rough job. I had to go to a walk in clinic.
Well, funny story about stitches.
This story will have you in stitches because you're going to be
This
laughing so
yes,
hard.
you're gonna be laughing so hard. When they did this ear surgery that they fucked up really bad, they they actually took my ear off my head. Like, not off, but flipped it
Yeah,
off, okay? So they took so I have a scar from here all the way up to behind the ear, and they lifted it to get in behind because I had a huge mastoid, similar thing, like an abscess, but it went and then that traveled way, way back here. So when I went to London to have it all fixed up, they did it and they then stapled these this together. So you can either get sutures, which are like sewing type
that's
thing.
yeah. Ugh,
That's what
hated
you
them.
had.
Yeah.
Or you can get staples, which is what they did with me. And so I had like maybe 60, and they're small metal staples, clips, and they go all the way down. And so the surgeon was in London, which was 4 hours away from where I lived. And I was, after it happened, I just could not get there. I worked for a veterinarian.
Oh my god.
Oh, the doctor was so mad. I got the veterinarian to take the staples out. She did a great job. We had a staple remover,
I mean,
and you know what? Big deal. She was a doctor.
sometimes I don't get chiropractors to crack my back. I get my friends,
Right,
It's
right, right,
yeah,
and she was my friend, and I said, "Do
yeah.
you think you can take these out?" And she went, "Yeah, I can take those out." So she did. So that was my funny story about that, and then the doctor got really angry with me.
I mean,
But then he sent me home, and when he sent me home, he had one of his students come in to send me home, and that student forgot to tell me that I was to come back for follow-up and ear cleanings. So a
ugh,
year later, I'm back in his office having the same surgery done again because it all filled up again. Like it just everything. Now, he didn't fuck it up because he was a neurosurgeon who should have done it in the first place. But I wound up having that all open back up again,
oh my
all
god.
back in there again. Yeah, and then this time, funny story about that. When they did this surgery, or it might have been a third time even. I think they did it 3 times. One of those times, they went in and they widened my, ear canal because n now
Mhm.
and yeah, this is
Sorry, I get all antsy when we talk about stuff like
this is
this.
kinda
Keep going.
yucky, but
Yeah.
what they have to do is put, like when I go to get it cleaned out, I have to have they use these tiny tools to clean it out. And to fit those, they had to widen my ear canal. And don't ask me how they did that. But when they did the follow-up surgery, did whatever they were doing, then
Mhm.
they widened the ear canal. And then he had, again, because it's a teaching hospital that I was at, one of the students came in to remove the mesh. So I had to stay there for 2 or 3 days till this mesh, till it, I guess, stayed open, right? And then they could remove the mesh. So rather than me going home and getting the vet to do it, he had me stay there in the hospital. And one of the students came in. And so I'm lying like this, okay, in the bed. And he says, okay, I'm just going to pull this mesh out. Shouldn't hurt at all. Now, most people that have this happened to them, they actually lose all the feeling inside of their ear. I'm one of the very few lucky ones, and I say that because there's no luck to it whatsoever, that still has all the feeling with inside of my ear. So when he went, he assumed I had no feeling,
Oh my god.
and he pulled this mesh, which was wrapped in the ear canal, which had then sort of healed in there for a
Yeah.
few days, grabs this piece of it and rips it out. Yeah. Oh, yeah. And
Were you just crying?
well, I hit him in the face. Because I was like, oh, like that. And then I just went, ow, like that. Well, he's right here, face right here. And I hit him right in the face.
Good. Fuck him.
Yeah. Well, I didn't feel that bad. Like I said, I
Yeah.
felt bad, but I really didn't because I thought, "Hmm, you should have checked to see whether I have feeling." Because now when I go in to have these cleanings with all these little tools, like they go in, they have these tiny little scissors and they have to cut little stuff out and I can feel every single thing. So I would get so worked up, so worked up.
Oh my god. Okay, first of all, teaching hospitals, fuck that. I'd be like, listen, they can watch, but you're doing it. Like, you know what I mean? I'm
Yeah.
like, no,
Yeah, and
fuck
the worst
that.
thing too was there was at one point they were doing a nerve conduction study because they had cut the facial nerve on this side, so I was completely paralyzed on one side of my face. So they had a neurologist or whoever does nerve stuff.
Yeah.
He's doing a conduction study where they put all these electrode things, they stick them to you, and then they put electricity, and that makes certain things move, right? Well, he sits me down, gets me all covered in these things, which I'm afraid of electricity. I'm terrified. I can barely plug something into the wall. Like I hold it and I plug it and like the other day I was outside and I had a cord and I just threw it down and I said, "Okay," to my husband. I said, "You have to plug that in. I can't plug that in." That's how scared of electricity I am. And so I didn't know what they were doing. I didn't know any of this because he didn't explain it. Old doctor, really old. And he's like putting, "Oh, this won't hurt at all." Okay. And then he puts like a cap, like I'm going to be electrocuted. And then they open the curtains and here's all these. So I'm 24 at the time. Here's all these university students staring at me. And then they start bang, bang, bang with the electricity, which feels like somebody's going like that on the top of my head. And I don't know why, like, I didn't even, now I
Wait, what?
understand. Yeah,
Okay.
but at the time I had no, I like, what is happening here? I don't even
Like,
understand. And all these people, guys, are staring at me with my wonky hair and my, whatever, and then they're hitting me with electricity. Oh, stop. So then I started jumping before it would go. And he goes, "No, no, don't do that." And I'm like, "Stop it." So So before he would hit with the electricity, I go, oh, oh. So they had to cancel the whole thing. It was over. The
I
test.
love that.
Yeah. So that was an experience.
So I used to have an electric pen,
Oh,
and I
electric.
lost or one of those prank pens. So when
Oh, where
you
it
press it
buzzes
down,
like a buzzer.
yeah.
Oh,
Well,
yeah.
I did it too many times, I guess. So I
Mm.
lost feeling in my thumb for a while.
Oh,
And now I'm afraid to click pens. And my thumb, when I go to do it, when I tell my thumb to click a pen, it always stops like midway. I can never fully click it down again. I literally have to look at my hand and do it. I can't do it without looking at it.
see?
It's so,
See?
yeah.
It's long-lasting effects. Like, now, if you were at your eye doctor, excuse me, and did they do that where they blow a puff of
Oh, with the
air?
fucking air? Yeah. Oh my god.
I can't do that. It reminds me so much of what they were doing with that electricity that I will jump and close my eyes before the air comes out.
So
Yeah.
when I went to go get LASIK, right? They have all these. The very first person you see, there's four different machines, and it actually looks like an optical illusion. It's black and white swirls, and you put your head in it. And I
Okay,
think it was
yeah.
on every machine. And I'm sitting there, right? And you look, and there's the balloon floating, and she goes, "Okay, we're just gonna do some imaging." And I jump already, and she's like, "Oh, are you nervous?" And I said, "You're not gonna hit me with air, are you?" And she's like, "Oh no, we don't do that here." I'm like, "Oh, thank God."
Oh,
But I still like jumpy because you're expecting it, especially when it's the
yes.
same balloon you see.
Oh, nobody was
And
showing me balloons the last
oh,
time I went, but maybe that would help. I said to the woman, like, I just could not do it at the end. I said, like, I can't. Like, next time I'll bring my husband and maybe he can like hold my eye open because
oh,
I just don't think I can do this any other way. So, yeah.
oh, I hate it's the worst feeling ever. Maybe you do the balloon shoot. It's usually a hot air balloon that you look at,
Oh.
and
Oh, and
but
when they do
maybe
the psh or something, is that when the air comes
yeah.
out? Oh god.
I th I'm pretty sure, or unless there's 2 different machines and you do the hot air balloon first, and then you go over to the air machine. But anyways, I didn't have to do it for my LASIK eye surgery, thank God. Um, but it was funny though because they tested my eye for dry eyes, so they put this dye in, and they also put drops in to numb your eyes so you don't feel anything. And this lady starts coming at me with what looks like an ear thermometer.
Oh,
It
okay, yeah.
it's that big, right? So I'm like, "Oh, that's weird. They're taking my ear temperature." Well, doesn't she start to come towards my eye? Makes sense because I'm for LASIK eye surgery. She starts coming towards my eye, and I'm recoiling right in the chair.
What are you
I'm like,
doing? What are you
um,
doing?
"Are you putting that on my eye?" And she goes, "Well, yeah." And she was like, "We gotta measure the thickness of your cornea." And I was like, "I don't know if I can do that." And she was like, "What do you mean you can't do this?" She goes, "It's just gonna touch your eye." So then I eventually am like, "Okay, like I can't go anywhere, right? I'm in a
Yeah.
chair."
Yeah, you're as far away as possible.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and so she eventually but she kept going as we're talking. I'm like, "No." I'm like, "No."
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
so it eventually goes on my eye. I didn't feel it, and I'm like, "Oh, this isn't that bad actually."
Oh,
But the
there you
whole
go.
time
Yeah.
it's that air puff that like
Oh,
really has me terrified of my eyes. Like,
yeah.
mm,
One time I had my nose broken. I had a septoplasty. They thought originally maybe that would help my ear because
mm,
all of your tubes are connected throughout your whole head, right? Your ears, nose,
yeah,
throat, everything is connected. And so they had a feeling that possibly if they did my nose, because apparently but the same
sure.
doctor did my nose that did my ear. So yeah, it was like I had a doctor look up my nose the other like not very long ago and go, "Mm, what's going on?" Like, wow. Yeah.
Mm.
He was like, yeah, I don't know what's going on up there." And now I snore like and since then, I snore so loud. I snore like a man. And there's not the only thing that I can do is have it rebroken and
Mm.
redone, and I'm just like, after all these like, I'm just like, "Okay, I snore like a man, or I go through another surgery where they could screw it up," and I don't really know what's going on up there. Like, for years, I had a lot of, trouble with it, and I'm just now not having that trouble with it anymore, so I'm
Mhm.
thinking, "Do I just leave well enough alone?" I think.
I would leave it,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah, and but when you have that septoplasty, they stuff your nose full of, um, dressing, like
Oh, yeah.
it's like ribbons, and when they
Yeah.
take it out, so you go home with that, like, and it but you don't realize, like, I didn't realize. I knew my nose was very swollen, but if you have your nose broken, you're gonna have a swollen nose. I didn't realize they had this all this dressing up in there. So when I go back, he says, "Okay, I'm just gonna start pulling, and you're gonna feel a little pressure." I swear to God, I thought my brains were coming out
Yeah,
of my nose.
yeah.
And this is how they were doing it, like this.
Like a fucking clown scarf, you know? Like, it just keeps going.
It's coming out. I was like, "Okay, stop." So
That's why
the
I can't look. I can't look when I get blood taken, I can't look at anything.
Really? I don't
Like,
mind that.
when they were doing my hand, like, I looked over, I'm like, like, you
Yeah.
know, I
Yeah,
can't.
they're sometimes a little bit gross, but,
Oh,
I had 2 children with no anesthetic.
really? Good
Yes.
for you.
Yeah, 0. What I did Here's what I did. Somebody who had kids told me, "Get them to save that." Like, you can ask for a shot of morphine before, like, while, before while you're in labor. They'll ask you, "Do you want any pain medication?" Whatever. She said, "Tell them to hold on to that till right after." So I was like, "Okay." So I went through the entire both times, nothing. 0, nothing. And then I said, "Hit me with it right after."
After you gave birth?
Yes. And oh my god, it was the most, and she was right. It's the most warm and fuzzy, wonderful feeling in the entire world. It was so fabulous. Yeah,
You're
I was
thinking
high
about
as a
having
fucking
another
kite.
one.
Yeah, I almost think about having another just to get some more of that. It was great. But yeah, I didn't they weren't big on, what are those things, epidurals?
Yeah.
And I just like, everybody has those now, and I because I work in healthcare now, I really look at them and go, oh, because 'cause they're putting that right into your
Your
spinal column.
spine. I didn't know
Yeah,
that's how it was done.
yeah,
Oh my god, yeah, no.
yeah, and I just, like, that's dangerous to me, and really didn't know that then. I just by the time I needed something, for both kids, like, where I went, "Oh god, give me something," they were like, "Too late." Like, now you're there, you gotta go through it. So that's it. So and then they gave it afterwards, but the epidural, I don't I a lot of girls have it, just decide, I guess now you can, like, when I went through it, you kinda had to be maybe in labor for a long time, or some problem or complication or something. Now you can opt for it, and I just wonder, is that the right thing?
I don't know.
Yeah.
I would be like, "Fucking load me up with everything you got, I don't wanna feel a thing."
I guess.
Well,
Yeah.
that's just me, though, I'm not good at taking pain. I'd be like, "I don't wanna remember this." So,
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
mean,
Well, I always said, if men had to have children, there wouldn't be any children, so
well, when I got my Lasik eye surgery and they go, "Would you like a relaxant?" I go, "What you got?" And they said, "Oh, we have Xanax." I said, "Free pill? Yes, please."
yes.
So, took the pill and then they go, "Would you like to get on the table or wait 15 minutes?" I said, "Wait 15 minutes? We gotta wait till it hits before you start cutting open my eye." Like, "What?"
Yeah, yeah.
So, anyways, it actually was like 35 minutes before they came and got me, which I kept was like, "Am I next? Am I next?" Or not the morphine, the Xanax hit really hard,
Really?
and oh, it
But
was
you'd
fucking
feel pretty
amazing.
good, yeah. Yeah, you'd feel
Oh,
good.
I felt great.
Yeah.
I was gonna ask this guy in the waiting room out. That's how good I felt, just because, like,
Yeah.
He looked good.
Yeah.
But, and we went my friend picked me up, and we went for Chinese food after because I was like, "Oh, yeah, I got drunk off this high." Like, I'm like, "I need Chinese food."
Oh, so you were hungry too.
Oh, yeah, after, starved.
Well, I found out, like, I went and had a CT scan, um, and I had to go right into the machine, and I found out then that I'm claustrophobic, and I was like this, like, they give you a buzzer and say, "If you're having any problems, buzz us." And I was this close to just freaking out and, like, screaming and clawing my way out of there, and I got through it, but I know that I could never do it again, and it's just
Yeah.
odd because your grandpa had one. He fell asleep inside of it, so I don't know why, and the only thing that saved me was I could see a slice of, um light from the outside of it, just right here, and I just kept staring at that light and got out of it. But I was thinking, if I have to go back to get another one, I would absolutely have to go get some type of medication before I
Yeah.
went. Like, I could not do it.
See, I know, I feel claustrophobic too when stuff like that happens. If I had that buzzer, I'd be like, "Bitch, I'm on Jeopardy, like, let's
Oh, yeah.
go."
They asked me a couple because they could, like, I guess I was breathing so, like, sort, and the tests that they were doing too, they were saying, like, I had to hyperventilate, so they were like, "Okay, breathe really fast." And so that was making it
Oh, yeah. Oh,
even worse because it was hot and I'm breathing and, like, the thing's, like, right at you, like, right around you, and then I'm breathing really fast, and oh my god, I was like, "Oh, I'm so close to pushing this buzzer," or just freaking out, like, I've never felt like that
yeah.
before. And I was actually, I think I have a little post-traumatic stress disorder because I was thinking about it today and how that same feeling I had, I can actually bring that to the surface. So I thought today, I thought, if I ever have to go and get another one, I'm gonna have to get some like Ativan or, so I'm thinking this
Oh,
Xanax, I
Anaphylm.
wonder, is that something
Oh,
I could get?
that
Mhm.
pill just hit like a truck. Oh,
Like, does it
like,
make you
I felt it.
sleepy or what does it do? It makes you
I
calm?
mean, I was tired afterwards, but again, they said that's normal for eye surgery. You're supposed to sleep afterwards, which I
Right.
did. I had, like, 2 naps, and then I went to
Nice.
sleep. Um, but I don't know when I felt it hitting, like, I was in the waiting room, it took about, like, 12, 15 minutes, and I just look at my friend, I'm like, "It's hitting." And she's like,
Oh,
"What? Really?" And I'm like, I just felt like melting, like that
nice.
warm, fuzzy feeling
Yeah,
you probably
yeah,
got. Yeah.
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 That's what I would need to get back in one of those CT scans because I don't think I can do that again, ever.
Oh my god.
Yeah, I don't think I've had any other surgeries though other than that. Never broken bones, never done anything like that.
Me either.
Nope.
See, now I did have a collapsed lung,
Oh,
and because I was drowning during swimming lessons
oh, geez.
when I was a child, but they saved me.
Mm.
My mom refused to jump in the water to save me, so the instructor saved me. But yeah, I was in the hospital for a long time with a collapsed lung. I don't know if they had to do surgery on me. I don't think so. But I ended up having pneumonia, and
Oh,
then
yeah, yeah.
my asthma got really bad.
Oh,
So
okay,
I'm
yeah, yeah. Chest,
yeah.
did they do a chest tube?
I
Like,
don't
sometimes they'll
know.
drain or they'll add air, like pump in air, but maybe
They
not. They might have just let it go on its own too.
You know what? They probably did because I think, like, they had to perform CPR on me or something. Just I remember, like, I had so much like, water. Like, I was drowning, like,
Oh,
fully
okay.
drowning
Yeah.
in the pool. Um, yeah. So, I imagine they had to do something. And
Jesus.
I'm like, "Did we not sue the highwaymen in Aurelia for because they were
Yeah,
teaching swimming
back
lessons?"
then, there was no suing going on.
Oh, damn.
No.
And anyways, I think we talked about a lot about our
That was
surgeries and
fun.
stuff.
That went from our original topic of government, which would have been really annoying, I think. We would have been all fired up about
Yeah.
nothing, to fun surgeries,
Reminiscing.
reminiscing about the funny parts of surgery.
Oh my god. Okay, well, thanks everyone for listening, and we hope you all have a great day. And if you have to go through surgery, we hope you get the good stuff.
Yes. Bye.
Bye.